Introducing the Mikey Palermo Hammer-Proof Cologne. One spray, forget about it. Tired of smelling like fear after a long night of bad decisions? Wish you could walk into a sit-down smelling fresh instead of like garlic knots and gunpowder. Say no more, paisan. Mikey Palermo's Hammer-Proof Cologne is here. Features: guaranteed intimidation. One spritz, and suddenly your mother-in-law don't nag, your bookie don't chase you, and even the IRS forgets your address. Long-lasting scent. Notes of bourbon, leather seats, and a hint of marinara. Smells like respect with a side of Sunday gravy. Hammer-tested. If Mikey can't beat the scent out of you with his hammer, nobody can. Nick Palermo. I sprayed this stuff once, and 3 guys offered me tribute money. I didn't even ask. Admiral Impeach. I use it during arms deals. Covers the smell of rocket fuel real nice. Lopez. Officially, I can't endorse it. Off the record, it works better than witness protection. Special offer. Order now and Aaron the Brain. Schult'll throw in a pocket-sized can of brain spray. Smells like fresh ink and bad investments. Perfect for those nights you gotta look smart while doing dumb shit. Mikey Palermo's Hammer-Proof Cologne. Don't smell like a victim, smell like a legend. Brooklyn Bloodlines Season 2 coming soon, only at the Pizzaverse.
Mugs, what the fuck you doing in there, you prick?
Bambi's Twisted Tales, Goldilocks, The Home Invasion. The girl who took what she wanted. Goldie learned early that locks are just suggestions. In the city's alleys, she pinched wallets, lifted watches, and picked kitchen latches like it was a hobby. She wore a halo of blonde curls and a grin that said, "If you catch me, it's 'cause I let ya." That night by the barrel fire, a drunk with a voice like gravel whispered about a cottage deep in the woods. No guards, no neighbors. Family keeps to themselves. Goldie's eyes narrowed. Easy pickings don't need a second invitation. The forest swallowed the road, and the road swallowed sound. Branches knitted overhead like cathedral ribs. Goldie kept her knife under her palm and counted steps to calm the buzz in her blood. When she finally found the house, a cozy squat thing with a smoking chimney, she laughed. "Look at this dollhouse, begging me to break it." Inside, warmth slapped her cheeks. 3 bowls steamed on the table. She tasted the first, scalded her tongue. Easy, lava. Second, cold fat like licking a tallow candle. Third, perfect, savory, iron sweet, a stew with a secret. A pale strip of meat floated up, too long and thin to be pork. She stared, smiled, kept eating. By the hearth sat 3 chairs. The biggest scraped splinters into her thighs. The second stank of rot and wet fur. The smallest hugged her like it knew her sins. It snapped under her grin. She sat in the wreckage, queen of the wrong house, and toasted the quiet with someone else's spoon. Upstairs, 3 beds waited. One slab hard, one swamp soft, and one that cradled her bones like it had been warmed by a heartbeat. She slid under the blanket, listening to the house breathe. Floorboards settling, chimney purring, walls ticking. "You're mine till morning," she said, and let the dark close. The latch downstairs lifted. A door sighed. Heavy tread, 3 sets, padded across the boards. Voices rolled. One thunder, one rumble, one knife. "Someone's been eating my supper. Someone's been wearing my chair. Someone's sleeping in my bed," the little voice sang, delighted. Goldie's eyelids fluttered. The dream smiled back. She woke to a wall of fur and teeth. The biggest stood like a bear taught to prey. The middle had butcher's hands. The smallest gleamed with wicked curiosity. Their eyes were wrong, human, bright in beast faces. Goldie propped herself on an elbow. "You left the door open," she said. "That's an invitation where I'm from." The smallest grinned. "From now on, doors talk with teeth." They herded her to the kitchen. The biggest sniffed her hair. The middle flexed claws. The smallest perched on a stool, chin in paw, admiring the trespasser. Goldie rolled her neck until it popped. "Relax. I came to make friends. And maybe business." "Business," the middle said. "I eat. I steal. I don't scare easy. Use me." The smallest clapped like a child. "Test first." They dragged a half-dead hunter from a closet. He gurgled a prayer through broken teeth. Goldie squatted, pressed fingers to his pulse. "Hey, pal, wrong cottage." She opened his throat smooth as writing her name. The blood hit the bowl like applause. The biggest bared teeth that might have been a smile. "She's efficient." They ate together, bowls refilled with red steam. The middle gnawed bone, the biggest swallowed hunks, the smallest licked the spoon with theater. Goldie kept pace, eyes on theirs, proving she could be pack. "Name?" the smallest asked. "Goldie." "Lockpicker?" "Professional." "Good," it chirped. "We got doors." The smallest sliced its palm and hers, pressed them together. Heat surged, something old accepting the trade. "Family," it whispered. Goldie stared at the mingled blood, felt a shiver of belonging slide in like a lock tumbling. Belonging, she'd never liked the word. Tonight it fit. They taught her to move quiet as mold. Goldie baited travelers with a pretty please smile and a "camps this way," while shadows with claws closed behind. She learned the whistle that meant now, the growl that meant play, the purr that meant save the bones. At dawn they returned, laughing, full, sticky with proof. Goldie slept like a saint. The town learned fear. Bread, wine, cheap jewelry, even dolls appeared at the forest's mouth. Offerings not to be taken, but to be appeased. The smallest giggled at the dolls. Goldie picked out the rings. "We're doing great community outreach," she said. The middle bear didn't laugh. "Jealousy is quiet before it's loud." The middle watched the smallest dote on Goldie. New chair, best bowl, warmest bed, and let suspicion fester. "You're not like us," it muttered. Goldie cleaned her blade. "Thank God I got cheekbones." The biggest snorted, the smallest glowed. The middle memorized the weight of its rage. Night, rain, the hearth gone low. The smallest crept toward Goldie's sleeping throat. The knife flashed under the blanket first. Goldie rolled, pinned, and buried steel to the hilt. The smallest bear looked surprised, then proud, then still. The middle roared. The biggest lowered its head. Goldie stood, shaking blood from her hand. "Family test. I passed." She dragged the smallest's chair back to the hearth and sat. It didn't break. It welcomed. The wood warmed under her. The house shifted around the new arrangement like bones knitting. The biggest watched her with a monarch's calm. The middle hummed fury through its teeth. They cooked without conversation. Grief tasted like iron filings. The middle lunged across the table mid-bite. Goldie threw the pot. Boiling stew and bone fragments turned its roar to a gargle. She hammered the lid down until quiet replaced argument. The biggest lifted one brow. "Effective." Goldie panted. I keep a tidy kitchen. The biggest rose, tall as memory, claws like winter. The house seemed to shrink. He came in hard. She dodged, slashed, tripped on a chewed rug, rolled beneath a swiping arm that would have turned her into confetti. He clipped her ribs, white pain, fireworks. Last chance, he rumbled. For you, she spat and fainted toward the door. When he lunged, she jammed her knife into the beam above. The chandelier dropped like a verdict. Wood, iron, and fire took him down. She finished what gravity started. Silence found corners to roost in. Goldie washed the bowls, mended the chair, swept the blood like she owned time. She set trophies on the mantel, a hunter's badge, a silver thimble, a cracked pocket watch still ticking toward nothing. Travelers whispered about the blonde who smiled from the cottage window. The town left bigger offerings. Goldie slept in the just right bed and dreamed in red. A midnight knock, 2 taps, patient. Goldie palmed her knife, opened on the chain. A little man in a neat hat smiled with a book under his arm, gold coins clinking like rain. "Do you know the Muffin Man?" he asked, eyes like newly minted sin. Admiral Impeach's Iron Fist pasta sauce. The sauce that conquers continents. You ever eat a bowl of rigatoni and think, this could use more global domination? Well, now you can, with Admiral Impeach's Iron Fist pasta sauce, made from real tomatoes grown in embargo zones and simmered down with top-secret military spices. One bite? Boom, you'll be planning invasions from your kitchen table. Features. Explosive flavor, detonates on your tongue like a 50-megaton meatball. Classified ingredients. Even the FDA ain't cleared to know what's in it. Battle-tested recipe. Perfected on submarines, backrooms, and meetings that never made the papers. Mikey the Hammer. I put this sauce on my steak once. The steak tapped out. Nick Palermo. I spilled a jar on my shirt and 3 guys declared me their capo. Lopez. Legally, I gotta say don't buy it. But unofficially, best damn sauce I ever used to bribe a judge. Special offer. Order 2 jars today and get a complimentary ceasefire breadsticks. They'll stop any argument in its tracks. Admiral Impeach's Iron Fist pasta sauce. This ain't Nonna's recipe, unless Nonna ran Black Ops. Goldie smiled back, predator recognizing predator. I know opportunity. Come in, sweetheart. The forest held its breath as 2 monsters shook hands. Moral of the story. Don't break into houses, and if you do, be ready for the house to make you part of the furniture. Power changes you, hunger finishes the job. If that one scratched your horror itch, smash subscribe, ring the bell, and tell the neighbors to lock their doors. Bambi's twisted tales ain't done redecorating childhood.